Mount Snowdon, world's highest mountain at 1,085 meters above sea level, and its captivating terrain. Having spent the night at this hotel, I quickly jumped into the car to book a parking spot along the busy road leading to the peak track in Snowdonia. I was reliably informed that one had to book 2 months in advance for a parking space in the nearby car park at Penny Pass. However, I was not that organized. My hotel did not serve breakfast, so I had to improvise. I had lovely accommodation, and this was my amazing spacious clean room. The gentleman at the bar who checked me in the previous night was extremely friendly and helpful. I'm not here to teach a grandmother to suck eggs, and neither am I here as a scrambler, but I would like to share my adventure to Mount Snowdon. I was smitten by the countryside in Wales. As I drove to the mountains, I thought to myself how dead gorgeous this was. I felt like coming back to spend a week in Wales to explore this lovely country. On this early spring morning, even with the trees without their leaves, the nature was to die for. I was blown away by how beautiful this place was. I must admit that I'm an arrogant novice who decided to choose the intermediate routes in terms of complexity to go up Mount Snowdon. This was the peak and minus track. From my research, there are a couple of easier trails, but I decided to spice it up and explore a bit more. At the start of the trek, I felt a twinge of right heel pain, and my immediate reaction was, this is not great. I had done a 20k walk the previous weekend, and I thought it had come back to bite me. Dithering on what to do, I gave my foot a benefit of doubt and I pressed on. At the car park, there are toilet facilities and I guess a restaurant with accommodation across the road. My guess was they are not open for the season. And to my surprise, after 10 to 15 minutes of trekking, the pain in my foot had gone. Persevering was the best decision I'd made, in addition to buying a comfortable pair of mountain hiking boots. Punching above my weight, I embraced a 723 meters elevation and 5.5 kilometer peak track to the summit. It is the most rugged path and shortest route with spectacular views. Officially, it starts at Penny Pass car park, but I left my car parked 1 mile away from the Penny Pass car park along the main road. The abandoned rocks along the trail make history come alive as one thinks about volcanic eruptions 450 million years ago. Appreciating the small streams of water was a brilliant break and a much appreciated distraction from the hiking. This time around, I'd done a bit of cardiovascular training and I had a decent pair of lungs with me. I was thrilled as I was not panting to death when compared to my previous expedition. I noticed though there was another department in my body that needed service improvement: the good old hamstrings and quads. They had been neglected at the expense of the lungs and the heart, and I knew what to do next. Stealing a glance at what I had covered encouraged me to press on. I concentrated on my trek. One thing I had decided to do at the beginning: I was not going to be bullied by experienced hikers to keep up with them. I had seen a few people running up and down. We all come in different shapes and sizes, and I was going to stick to my knitting. This worked for me though. To my left in a distance was the miner's track with turquoise water lakes. This was my return route from the summit, and I was looking forward to the gorgeous views. The trail was exceptionally tidy, as I only managed to spot one cigarette butt, a single lonely used tissue, and half-empty bottle of water along the trail. A few other bits and bobs I saw were apple cores and banana peels. Looking at the sheer number of tourists visiting the place, I would say I was impressed on how people behaved and took their rubbish home. Crib Gok in a distance is a knife-edge ridge scramble which takes lives each year. They are typically between 1 to 3 deaths per year on the Crib Gok road. The previous day I was apprehensive, not knowing what to expect, not having a guide, never summited a mountain before, having left my folks home as everyone had prior commitments. Not being dramatic, I also thought of getting lost in the mountain. I second doubted myself, and I thought that this was a grand mistake. However, the excitement of summiting my first mountain was overwhelming, and it won the battle. I was initially concerned about navigation, and my concern was about hiking the wrong trail. On arrival to the car park, I asked the parking attendants, who were so helpful. They pointed me in the right direction. It's also important to do some basic research, as most trails have different starting points. This will help in reducing your confusion. It may not seem like it, but the people along the trail were very friendly, which was amazing. As one approaches the peak, the landscape unfolds like a portrait. Finally, the summit was in sight, and the joy of having made it this far could not be wiped off my face. Winds were blowing at an impressive 11.9 mph at the topmost spot in Wales. It was a warm and clear day at 14 degrees centigrade, but because of the wind factor, it felt like 4 degrees centigrade. I had to hold tight onto my headgear, or else I could have lost it. There were long queues at the summit. The drama at the summit was out of this world. Due to the sheer strength of the winds, we all had to do what we had to do to stay alive. The whole ordeal strips away one's dignity. Most of us had to bottom shuffle from the summit as the winds were ferocious. The views at the top were breathtaking. It is estimated that between 500,000 to 700,000 people reach Mount Snowdon summit each year, making it a popular destination for hikers and tourists. The summer months, especially July and August, see the highest number of visitors. Snowdon Mountain Rail also contributes to the high numbers of visitors, carrying up to 130,000 passengers annually. At this point in time was not a bother. The most important aspect was summiting Mount Snowdon. It was a sweet moment having my sandwich at the highest spot in Wales. The next challenge was to get back to the car park, and my route of choice was the miner's track. The miner's track was initially built to serve the Britannia copper mine. Remains of the mine can be seen along the route. I decided to wander off to see what's left of the mines. The entrance to the mine was full of rubbish and it was filled with water. I decided not to proceed and called it off. Wales has a diverse landscape, ranging from rugged coastal areas with sandy beaches and cliffs to mountainous regions in the north and mid-Wales, with valleys and rolling hills in the south. Snowdon is the highest mountain in Wales and is located in the north in Snowdonian National Park. Some of the remains of the buildings from the mines. What I found helpful for my beginner friends like me was having a comfortable trusted pair of hiking boots, a beanie hat as the summit was really cold, plenty of drinking water, snacks, face shield, rain jacket in case it rains. The weather changes so rapidly, I have been told. Regarding hiking poles, the verdict is still out there. More of relics from the past and the mining heritage. An empty bladder is also needed for a hassle-free hike, as there was only one loo at the car park, which was open at the beginning of the hike. This sounds like an oxymoron when I advise you to carry plenty of drinking water. There is an open toilet during the months of May to October when the Snowdon Summit Visitors Centre is open. An early start would be on the list, as waiting for those queues on the summit would not be so cool. I was euphoric when I saw the car park. Having been thumped by an altitude gain of 723 meters on the peak track and more than 30,000 steps of trekking, I was ready to go home. If you have enjoyed this trek, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Till next time.